Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crunch Time Trades. Got a trade recap for you guys today. I took 2 trades on GC. Both trades hit full TP, so really solid day for me. I maxed out my evals for the day. I'm using Tradeify evals right now, trying to max out my prop firm allocation as best I can. I was previously on Apex, blew those accounts with some bad trading, but here we are trying to get my allocation back up on Tradeify. So this is before market open. This is what I look at every morning to kind of get an idea for what kind of trades I want to take. If I'm looking at the 15-minute trend, I don't really notice anything significant. We're slightly bullish, so I would be leaning bullish going into the day. We are consolidating within a lot of these value ranges and value points. Our overnight session had some big high volume nodes from these sections here. So I'm relatively neutral on what side I want to play today. I would like if we could break this previous day value area high. I think we have a lot of room to go if we do. But we can also play a lot of smaller trades within these other points of interest. So with that being said, we can jump down to the 5 minutes, kind of the same thing, slightly bullish, kind of consolidating. We'll jump down to the 1 minute, which is where we spend most of our time on the charts. And we can start our volume profile here from our 930. End it right. Okay, perfect. And I got onto the charts a little bit late this morning. I don't take anything for the first 30 minutes from open, but I was actually way later than that because my alarm didn't go off this morning, which was kind of weird, but whatever. Okay, so we've got our 10 a.m. We got our 10 a.m. candle here. We're a little bit past that, but from this point, I am looking for trades. I think we have a slightly bearish trend going on. There's nothing significant. I haven't seen anything that really looks interesting to me so far. We have a profile with no significant high volume nodes. There's a little bit of volume up here, but at this point, I was just kind of hanging around waiting to see a little bit more, just something develop. And here we have something developing. We've kind of established a more typical D-shaped profile trend. We're kind of bouncing up and down between our value area low and our value area high, kind of moving easily within this point of control back and forth. If we continue, we actually end up breaking this developing value area low and the overnight point of control. So for me, that's an indication like we have some room to move down. Previously, we broke it and came back through it, but what I'm looking at here is some high volume nodes that are developing, and you can see we actually did end up really breaking through this trend. So that kind of confirms my bearish bias here. We have some high volume nodes here that I'll highlight really quick. It's our first one between our value area low and our overnight point of control. This is one of our smaller, but you notice the volume ticks up here and then kind of drops off between this space. Zoom in the chart a little bit more so you guys can see that, right? We have some higher volume in here, and then it kind of drops off a little bit before ticking up again where our point of control is, right about here, right? So these are our two high volume nodes that we're developing here, which I think will act as resistance, and we will use those to protect our positions on the short side if we get an entry. So broke that value area low, came back up into that value area low, could potentially look for the point of control. Let's continue. Okay, we see a big break and we tap into that overnight value area low. In my opinion, we've now confirmed that we are going to push to the short side even further, right? We broke that value area low, tapped into that overnight value area low. And what I've done now is from this point, I've set an order at this 156 level where this developing value area low is to try and get an entry to the short side. Again, we tap that overnight value area low, and then we come up and tap into my position here and instantly into drawdown. But what I know is that I can trust that these high volume nodes, there's a lot of sell orders there, as we've seen previously. We've tapped into this area a couple times and sold through. I know that we have sellers here. There's a lot of volume here. I can trust that these resting orders will get filled and push us back down. So, like I said, that's kind of what happens. We enter into drawdown, push through this first high volume node, but find some control in this at this point of control, and sellers regain control, push us back down, and from here you're heading on down to Funky Town. We've got 10 points TP there, and that's our first TP. Great. Now we are looking for another setup. At this point I'm all out on my first Tradeify eval and on my second one. And again, we kind of get a similar setup here. If you notice, this is a little bit less significant, but we have kind of a high volume node developing through this area. High volume here. You can draw this right there. And we break through my overnight value area low, and I'm looking for shorts. So at this point, I think I've set my order for shorts at this point right here. Once we break through this level, I set my order for shorts right here at this 147 level. Get a filled. We're in a little bit of drawdown here, but again, we have a high volume node that I can trust here. I believe that there are sell orders here to confirm the trend, and we kind of get those sell orders to come in. We get filled. We're bouncing around in our drawdown a little bit, but again, I can trust where those orders are. We actually developed the point of control develops down here at one point, because there were so many orders that came in to support that bearish trend. End up taking this position for 10 points. Again, another full TP on this trade. This one was a little more sketch for me, just sitting in drawdown for a little bit longer, and it didn't have as strong of high volume nodes to protect. But you can see as the trade developed how significant that high volume node became. We really developed a lot of volume in this area. And so if I had waited a little bit longer for this entry, I could have potentially got an entry maybe on this candle here and gotten a better fill. But again, solid trade, out for 10 points. And you can see on gold, when you catch the right side of the trend, like let's just follow this along. You can follow this down it's almost 30 points, or it is 30 points. And so as I get into, once I get those accounts fully funded, I would like to use some of my contracts as runner contracts, and I can take some deeper profits on those positions because gold is super trendy. 10 points on this trade was obviously like just the beginning of that move. This position also would have been able to run for 20, 30, 40 points, right? And so in that way, like when I get those accounts funded, getting my position size correctly so I can take some profits and then let some of those runners go and potentially make some bigger profit plays on those accounts, especially because they don't have those Tradeify selects don't have any consistency. So overall, really solid day for me, using the points of interest on my volume profile as support and resistance, using some of those high volume nodes as well as areas to protect my positions, and targeting some other points of interest as we kind of consolidate and move down through a lot of our interest points for the week. Potentially tomorrow, looking for us to tap back into some of these value points. Could be taking some longs if price consolidates and create some value down here. We could be potentially looking for longs tomorrow to tap back into these value areas. But with that being said, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the trade recap. If you would like to see more or you have any questions, leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.